What's good, YouTube? Jay Lee here, another Northwest podcast. I'm feeling a little good today. Not sure why. Just it's been raining, man. It's been raining in Seattle, and it's freaking July tomorrow, right? Weird shit, man. I thought we were gonna have a hot summer this summer, but I guess I was wrong. It is rainy, so sometimes Seattle weather throws you a curveball. But nevertheless, I'm feeling kind of good today. Spirits are just high. I just got a good night's rest, or I got a good nap, good sleep in. Just feeling good. But unfortunately, what do I do on this channel? I talk about negative shit over and over again. It's what I do on this channel. It's why you guys listen to me. It's why I get 20 views per video. Anyway, I do appreciate the support that I do get. Considering this channel is so lo-fi and low profile. But I feel like I'm speaking a lot of truths. I feel like I'm bringing quality content and information to the table, right? That's what I feel like I'm bringing. And I noticed that some red pill guys out there, I think some bigger channels sometimes listen to my stuff. I noticed some guys start talking about some of the subjects that I talk about, and I feel like I'm the first person to talk about that subject. Could be coincidence, right? I'm not going to sit here and be egotistical, because it really could be coincidence. We all go through the same stuff. But again, all my channel is me going through stuff and then telling it to you guys. I was talking the other day with somebody about female nature and how females date and things like that. And basically, I got 15 years in the game, man. At least 15 years, probably more like 20 years. First time I had a girlfriend, I think I was age 8, and I got 3 girlfriends. 3 girlfriends by the time, I think it was all in the same year. I think that was the first year I started to apply myself with actually talking to girls, and I went out and got 3 girlfriends. Of course, I think they all dumped me. All 3 of them dumped me within like one day. Like they didn't, I was nervous around them. I don't even remember. I just thought I was cool because I was like, oh wait a minute, I can get a girlfriend. And that concept popped into my head, and I was like, let me go get a girlfriend. And I went and got 3 different girlfriends, I think within the course of like a couple days. And all 3 of them dumped me within like one day. I hung out with them like one time and they all dumped me. I think one of them I kissed though. One of them I kissed. I think it was a little Spanish girl, but I can't remember. Long time ago, man, many moons ago, decades ago, right? I was 8 years old. But anyway, 15 years in the dating game, 15 years at this stuff. So what I talk about, I got the experience. Now, some people might have their judgments against me. Some people might say I'm this, I'm that, whatever. Like, I'm not in it for those people. I'm just here to spread my truth. I'm just here to speak my truths. And if you guys like it, you like it. If nobody likes it, then hey, I'll only get 20 views and it doesn't matter. But anyway, with that said, I want to jump into, let me change the light on my phone because I can't see. I'm out in the sun, or I'm out in the daylight. Okay, so let me jump into today's topic. Now, what I want to talk about today is why women fall out of love. And it's interesting that I just talked about, you know, me getting these girlfriends and getting dumped, because that happens. We get a girlfriend, and we get dumped. Why does it happen? Why? Because the way women are set up, the way their biology, and but the way that their mind works and their feelings and all that ticks, and you'll have them totally disagree with you, totally say, no, you're wrong, I'm not like that, I'm not shallow like that. Women are far more shallow than men are. Far more shallow than men. Far more shallow than men. Oh my God, far more shallow. Most people think like, oh man, they always want girls with big tits and this, that, and that. No, they're only talking about some men. And this is how women think. They take the highest value man, and when they say men, plural, men in general, they're meaning the highest value man. Why? Because the lower value men, they don't mean anything to women. They might as well not even exist. I'm being serious, like 100%. The lower value men, the guys who aren't that good looking, don't make that much money, don't have a lot of friends or status, don't dress well, these guys don't matter. They might as well not exist. Women would be happier if those guys didn't exist, because then they wouldn't have to look at those guys. There's not the potential for those guys to hit on them, etc. They don't want those guys to exist. So when women are talking about men and they say men this, men that, what they're talking about when they say men is they're talking about the high value man, the man who is the guy that their ideal guy. So when they air out their frustrations about men, oh, I've had my heart broken, men only want me for sex, I've been cheated on, guys are trash, they're not even talking about low value guys. They're not even talking about your regular average Joe guys. They're not talking about those guys. They're talking about the guys that they idealize, the guys that they want to be with, the high value men. So when I'm talking about female nature, you have to understand that. You have to understand that female nature only views a man as relevant or important if he's a high value man. If you are not a high value man, you are not relevant or important to any woman. You're just not. You got to understand this, because this is how the female nature works. Men have to be worth something, right? Chris Rock said it the best. He said, dogs or pets, animals basically, animals and children and women are valuable in and of themselves. Only women, children, and animals are valuable in and of themselves. Men have to bring something to the table. We have to do something. We can't just be. We can't just exist and have value. Unless we're just like Brad Pitt, unless we're super good looking, then that's our value. And women will say, oh, well, that's our value. All we value to you is good looking. Not true. Not true. Not at all true. Men want companionship. Men want love. We want women to have something intrinsically. Women don't require that of men in certain aspects. Now, they do want us to be confident. They do want us to be, cocky, funny, this, that, and the third. Like, that is an intrinsic requirement. But as far as like inner value, particularly things that I consider to be valuable, such as honesty, good character, like, being truthful, being, having conviction, having integrity, right? Like helping others, these things, that doesn't really matter that much to women. And in fact, they probably view those traits as beta. They would probably put you in the nice guy category if you have those traits. Traditional traits don't really matter to modern women. Traditional traits don't matter. Christian traits, like loving traits, like that doesn't really matter, because that's just not the way they tick. Women want a means to an end. Now, a guy who has strength, who has inner fortitude, that is something on the inside that they value, because that's something they can use. Oh, he's got strength, he's strong, he's got fortitude in himself, for life. Well, I can get behind that because he can protect me. He can use that to provide for me. He can use that to, for us to live a long life, right? See, you got to understand, women view men as utility, right? We're only a means to an end. And sometimes that end is pleasure. That's true. Sometimes that means to an end is pleasure if we got a nice cock, or we're in shape, or we're really good looking, but that only goes so far. In the long term, women are looking at men like men look at a car. Well, how's this car going to last me? Is this car durable? Is this car going to run well? Is this car going to serve me well? And I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. Women approach relationships as if it's that kind of transaction, as if they're purchasing something for them to utilize for the next 10, 20 years or however. And once you stop doing that thing, once you stop doing those things that she's utilizing, she's done with you. She'll divorce you. when you become weaker, or when you lose your resources, or when you maybe start acting a little beta, you're a little too clingy, whatever. Like, again, this is what I always talk about, but I talk about it because it's the truth. This is the truth. They will discard you. Okay, so what I wanted to, the topic of today's podcast, or topic of what I'm going to talk about today is why women fall out of love. And I had to say all that because you have to understand female nature. This is why women fall out of love. Whatever was sparking her, whatever attracted her to you at the beginning, again, it could have been you're in shape, or you're funny, you're cocky, or whatever. All that, if it's not backed up by a foundation of value, and it, trust me, if you study pickup artistry, if you study dating coaches, they're always talking about value. Raise your value, make your value higher. They're always saying that. Why? Because, again, a man is only important as his value. If he has no more value, she has nothing to love you for. There's nothing for her to use you for. There's nothing for her to bank on. So this is why women fall out of love. You lose your value. Go study Rollo Tomasi, The Rational Male, which is probably one of the best books on the red pill, or at least female nature, ever written. He talks about staying on your purpose as a man. Stay on your purpose, because once you get off your purpose and you start focusing on her, that's when she loses attraction for you. Because she doesn't want to be the prize. She wants you to be the prize. You are the prize. It's just men don't realize this. Men put women on a pedestal and they think women are the prize. So then women walk around thinking I'm the prize, but when they don't even understand their own nature. Their own nature actually wants men to be the prize. Because this is how they're set up. This is how all the little wires connect in their biology. They want a man to get behind. They want a man to take care of them financially, to give them security. Those are two of the most top things that women want, finances and security. And women will argue that until the cows come home. But they're all lying, because the proof is in the fudge. The proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is in the fudge, man. What she does is more important than what she says. Women will say it all, left and right. Oh, I don't want a man with resources. I don't want a man with money. I'm not that shallow. Yes, you are. You are. Because what do? I don't pay attention to what you say. I pay attention to what you do. You chase men with money. It's in female nature. Why do you think guys want to be in a band? Rollo Tomasi was in a band, and that's how he started getting laid with tens, hot ass girls. Why? Why do women want guys in a band? Because the way they're set up is a lot different than men. Men don't give a shit. In fact, I'm kind of turned off by women in a band. Like, I don't want you, because we don't want women to be leaders. We don't want women to be more popular than us. We don't want women I'm not turned on by that. That doesn't attract me. I don't want to go to a J-Lo concert hoping that she'll choose me. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, no, I'd rather have a woman who works at a Starbucks or something, because it's just more real to me. It's more down to earth. I don't want a woman who's got a celebrity status, who I don't care about status. But guess who does care about status? Women. Women care about status, right? Why? Because it's just how they're set up. They want a man to lead, to have resources, to be able to take care of them. It's all how they're set up. So why do women fall out of love? Because you lost that. You lost that. You lost your value. Your value was lowered in some way. It's just the way it is. Your value was lowered. You got out of shape. You weren't as cool as you used to be. You lost your friends. You didn't hang out with all the cool people you used to hang out with. You're not as popular as you once were. You lost your house. You lost your career. You lost your job. You lost your mortgage. Pick your poison. One of those things, or one or more of those things, is what happened to you. And she stopped loving you, quote unquote, loving you. Women don't really love. And that's my whole point here. My whole argument here is that women don't really love in the classical sense of the word love. And so that's what you have to understand. So why women fall out of love? Well, they were never really in love in the first place. Whatever attracted them to you, right? You lost. Your value got lowered. Okay? What is this? This is female nature. What is it? It's hypergamy. This is hypergamous nature. She wants the best male. And many people will uplift this and say, oh, that's the way it is. It's biology. It's nature. Cry about it. Get over it. It's not the point, though. The point is, don't say it's love. Don't say, I love this person, when you will leave them if they don't have resources, when you will leave them if they don't have the status, when you will leave them if they're not who they used to be, right? This is why Rollo Tomasi says, don't put women on a pedestal. Because you always have to have a higher value than her. You always have to, there's something about you, and a lot of times guys can work it out to where it's in their head. It's their mind state. They might not even have more money than her. They might not even be higher status than her, but their mind state, and you'll see it too. Like I remember Courtney Cox. She married a guy named David Arquette who had lower status than her. David Arquette was a bit actor. And he's not an alpha guy. He's kind of a beta funny guy, whatever. But what he did to get, I just forgot her name. Courtney Cox. What he did to just get Courtney Cox probably was he had a mind state. So he chatted her up, whatever. And there was something about him, his mind state, that attracted her. Now, if you look at David Arquette, who's now really not even popular anymore. He's a has-been actor. I actually used to like him. I think he's a funny guy. There's something about his personality that she liked and wanted. They eventually got divorced because, which is why it never works. It's the same with Megan Fox. She is high value, and she got with Brian Austin Green, I think, and they had a kid together. But he's a has-been actor as well. Not a tall guy. He's good looking, but an older guy, and she recently traded up she traded him in and got a newer model with Machine Gun Kelly. Girls will do the same thing that they accuse men of doing, which is, oh, you're just dating younger guys and exchanging us, or younger women and exchanging us for the younger model. Girls will do that too. It's all about value, unfortunately. Now, some men, because when you get to be, when you're married to your business and you're a CEO, you don't give a fuck about love, and you just want sex with a hot young woman, and you just want someone to raise your kids like Michael Jordan did with his wife. He got her pregnant and then decided to marry her because he wanted somebody to raise his kids. And she made out pretty well. She probably got like 400, 500 million. Now Dr. Dre is getting divorced to his wife, and she's probably stands to get 400, 500 million from the divorce. All about resources, man. All about value. This is why women fall out of love, because you don't bring something to the table. Now, a woman, it's just like Kobe Bryant. If you cheat, she'll forgive it if your value was high enough. If your value is high enough, she'll forgive your cheating. Likewise, a man will forgive a woman's cheating if he's cucked enough, and if he has low value enough to where, the juxtaposition of the relationship is such that he's probably bringing something to the table financially, but she's bringing sex to the table, and he couldn't get any better sex. So he'll allow her to cheat sometimes if, as long as she doesn't leave him, right? Now, that's a sad situation, and vice versa. It's a sad situation if a woman stays, if a man cheats. I'll say that as well. I'm not playing favorites. Nobody should cheat. But what we see with Courtney Cox and Megan Fox is we see there's something about these guys that gets them. So even though they have lower value financially or status, there's something about their mind state. Now, with Megan Fox, I think she had a crush on him from the 90210 days. That's my opinion. But anyway, but if you look at the long term in those relationships, it doesn't work out, because women are always looking for the BBD. They're always looking for the bigger, better deal. Unless they hit the wall, they get 30, they got a kid, finances are restricting them. If they can't do it in that situation, then they will stay. They will stay. If they can't find anything better, right, they'll stay. But this is why, man, and looking back on my 15 years or 20 years experience in dating, it's always been hypergamy. There's always somebody better. There's always somebody better. And this is why you would have to argue, does love really exist in a female's mind? Does it really? Real love? You have to argue it, because hypergamy is not love. If she's constantly looking for the BBD, she's constantly looking for that bigger, better deal, you have to question, does she really love you, right? And female nature is such that by the time they get into relationships, and by the time they find a guy they like and really get into a relationship, they've already had a bunch of sex. And science says it's harder for them to pair bond, and I believe that that's true. The female nature is very slippery. It's very, they don't like being tied down. You have to be a winner. You have to really win to tie them down. And even then, they don't. It's also culture. We live in a hookup culture. They are encouraged to go out and hook up, and it's so easy. It's a click away. It's a click away, and they can get some dick. Easy, man. But again, this is all female nature. It's society, but it's female nature, and it ruins everything. It ruins everything. Sorry to say. Female nature ruins everything. They don't love deeply. And this is the problem. They don't, it's value, it's hypergamy. You have to have that value, and if you lose it or you put her on a pedestal, you're done, right? Unless she can't get anybody better, but even then she might still leave. It just depends. Like, this is why a lot of relationships don't work out. This is why a lot of marriages, and you end up like Pam Anderson. How old is she like now? Almost 60, 55, whatever. Pam Anderson. Okay. I remember watching her when I was a kid, and she was the most gorgeous woman on the planet. She hit the wall. She looks like crap now, because all women age. And when you age, your value lowers, because all you're bringing to the table, most of these women, they don't develop a good character. They don't develop quality values or quality morals. In fact, it's the opposite. The more men put them on a pedestal and want to have sex with them, the more they're jaded, the more they're selfish, the more they're solipsistic, the more they think the world revolves around them. I mean, look at Pam Anderson. Look at her attitude over the years. Look at her. I mean, go watch some of her interviews. She has no substance. She's not a quality human being. I mean, you know, I'm not saying she's a bad person per se, but she doesn't have great character. She did porno with Tommy Lee Jones, and it got leaked. People forget about that, maybe. I don't know. But again, she doesn't what do these women have to offer? And then they hit the wall, and hey, man, if you're unlucky enough, if your hypergamy is such that, you know, I want to date this guy, he's a rocker, and I want to date this guy, he's an intellectual, and I want to date this guy, he's a businessman, I want to date this guy, he's an MMA fighter, and on and on and on, right? They're just sampling every flavor in the box. Eventually, they're going to get used up. They're going to get used up, and they're not going to be able to pair bond. This is science. How can they love deeply? I argue when you've been with more than 5 men, how can you love one man deeply? You loved 5 men. You loved 10 men. How can you love one man? So what do they have left to love, to quote unquote love? What do they have left to give or to bring to a relationship? Nothing. So what do? They look for a man with resources in order to quote unquote settle down, when really all they're trying to do is have a nice life. At that point, they're like, fuck it, all men are the same, or they're all gonna hurt me, or they're all gonna get boring, or whatever. Might as well have a guy with money. Might as well have a guy that allows me to live the kind of lifestyle that I want to live. I want to live comfortable in this nice little house with my nice garden and raise my kids. And so I just want to marry a man who's gonna give that to me. And that's what a lot of these women do. I would say that's a lot of what women do, period. And it makes me wonder. I wonder if women can ever really love a man. Now, they'll say they love that guy. They'll say, yes, I love that guy. I love him, you know, but really they love the situation that they're in. They love their life. They love the life that he brings, the lifestyle that he brings. They love being a housewife. They love their kids. That's what they love. Do they really love the guy? I don't think so. Why? Because they chose him for his resources. Because by the time they get to that point where they're ready to settle down, they've already been with 10 guys, 20 guys, right? Who knows? 30 guys. But again, in my opinion, after 5 guys, that's when you lose your ability to pair bond. Because women are not the same as men. They get into relationships on an emotional basis. Sex is on an emotional basis. So when after you emotionally invest in 5 different guys, your emotions are seared. You can't love and be loyal because the first guy was special, but then you found somebody better than him, and then he was no longer special, or he put you on a pedestal, and you no longer loved him, and then you moved on to somebody else, and that's how it goes, right? So women are quick to jump onto the greener grass. They're quick to, the grass is always greener. This guy's better. This guy's, oh, I thought I loved this guy, but I don't love him anymore. And you'll notice how women do this. I'm sure in your own experience, you've seen how well women have done that, how women do this, have done this. They really are in love with one certain guy, and then all of a sudden they're no longer in love with him. Oh, he cheated on me, or he did this thing, or he put me on a pedestal, or it's just not going where I wanted it to go, and I thought we'd be married by this point, or he doesn't really love me like I want him to, or woo woo woo. And then they act all hurt. And then they act like, well, I loved him, but then he hurt me, and now I don't love him anymore. And a lot of times these guys will try to get that woman back. They'll be like, oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. I was a jerk. And in my experience, I've been there. And in my experience, I was being a jerk because that's what attracted the women in the first place. They want, and this is why women say, I want a bad boy who's nice to me. I want a bad boy who settles down with me. And it's fucking weird, man. Like, because I don't even know. They want that protection. They want oh, he's a bad boy. He can protect me physically, but he's also sweet. He's a bad boy out in the world, but at home he's a sweet guy. Like, I guess that turns them on. I don't know. That's some selfish shit. Like guys are just guys. We take losses. We're not Superman. We go through shit. If you're not there for all the ups and downs, is that really love? Nobody's RoboCop. Nobody's Bruce Lee. Nobody's fucking, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Nobody is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nobody's all that. And then also Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp rolled into one. This is what they want, man. They want all of it. They want all the goodies with none of the downsides. And then they jump ship. They jump ship when they realize, oh, he's not this, he's not that. But by the time, and it's like, how are you going to say you love somebody, but then fall out of love because, oh, something didn't add up, or he's not making enough money for you. Now all of a sudden, mysteriously, you fall out of love, right? Or he started acting beta and started putting you on a pedestal. Now you don't love him anymore. You started shit testing him, and he started falling for the shit test. He started groveling to you a little bit, and that just turned you off. And it's like, because why? You think you can find somebody better. That's all it is. You don't love the guy. The grass is greener on the other side. You didn't really love him. If you loved him, you'd be loyal. Now, if he's treating you like absolute trash, cheating on you, whatever, yeah, you give him an ultimatum. Stop this shit. If you want a relationship with me, then have one and start acting right. But they just jump ship. They jump ship, and then it's over, and you'll never get that love back. They used to make these memes about 5 or 10 years ago and put them on Facebook that was like, these jaded sluts. They used to make these memes. Like 10 years ago, girls were always sharing these memes, and oddly, weirdly enough, they don't share them anymore. I barely ever see women sharing these memes anymore, but they used to share these just toxic, jaded, slutty memes. And one of the memes that stood out to me that I've always remembered was, one of the memes said, if you lose my love, good luck getting that back. Good luck getting me back. And I thought, that's actually true. That's actually true. When a woman stops loving you, or I don't know if I should say even I don't know. I mean, when a female stops loving you, when she falls out of love and she dumps you and breaks up with you, I would say 99.99999%, you're not going to get that woman back. Now, there's always exceptions. There's always that guy that's like, I got my ex back, whatever. Well, you had value. You had more value. She went and played the field. She couldn't find anybody with more value than you, and she came back. Okay, you're an exception. But for the most part, the women do not come back. From my experience, from other people I've seen, other friends that I've seen, they really don't come back. That's actually a true meme. But here's what I question. Did you ever really love him in the first place? If you won't come back, well, I don't think so. I really don't. Good luck getting me back. Like, what the fuck is that? Why would you want to enter into a relationship with a woman that you can't get back? Why would you want to enter into a relationship with a woman that will dump you and leave you for not, having enough value, or maybe not treating her like the princess that she thinks she is, or whatever bullshit? Because 9 times out of 10, it's some bullshit reason like, oh, it's not, the relationship isn't going where I want it to be. I thought we'd be so happy, and it's just normal, it's just regular, it's just kind of boring. It's like they want that love on the screen. They want that love from the movies. They want that amazing, and when it's not that amazing, Hollywood love, they think it's not real or something. And it's like, no, bitch, you gotta work on it. You gotta actually work on a relationship. You gotta work on your love, cultivate your love. How about instead of expecting him to read your mind and expecting him to treat you like an amazing princess and like, oh yeah, let's go do this. How about you do something? How about you treat him well? Or how about you communicate that you want to be treated better, that you want to be treated more special? How about you communicate that? But they'll dump you and break up with you if you just don't do it. They'll dump you and break up with you if if they feel like you're not treating them like a Hollywood movie, like a Hollywood love couple treats each other. It's weird, man. Fucking weird. And then again, like I said, they eventually just settle with somebody who has resources. They eventually just settle with somebody, and there might be some love there, but that's, female nature wants a guy to give them security and resources, and that's usually what they end up falling for. The Hollywood love story, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm not saying that couples don't ever experience that type of love. I think they do. But what I see mostly, for the most part, the majority of relationships are really just like arrangements. They're really like situationships. Like, well, he makes good money. He has a nice house. I like the lifestyle that I live with him. I'm comfortable. He provides. He pays rent. He's got a mortgage. He's got a nice car. He's safe. He gives me a lot of security. That's mostly what most of the relationships that I see are all about. That period. That's what I see. I don't see a lot of this, ride or die love.